This is a presentation of the Sports Source Digital Network, presented by Hearthside Bank.
Welcome into the Sports Source Digital Network. We are not going to talk much about New Mexico State. This is the final word. I am John Pennington. I'm joined by VFL Ollie Lane, VFL Marlon Walls, VFL Daniel Hood. If you like this show, and we've done 10 of them now, I guess, or this is number 10, click the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. That helps us. Just four guys shooting the crap about Tennessee's last game, except this week. We always do the same 12 questions. I'm sorry, the New Mexico State game, we'll cover it sort of, but we rewrote the questions. So I'm breaking the rules. Instead of the final word on New Mexico State, this is the first word on on Florida. All right, here we go. Question number one, and we'll get these New Mexico State things out of the way. Question number one, what was the single most memorable play versus the Aggies on Saturday?
I feel like my most memorable play that I saw was the William Wright pick six. I mean, just what goes into that and having a guy like that make the play.
6 years.
6-year veteran, walk-on guy, means a lot. It's a moment he's never going to forget in his entire lifetime. He's going to tell his kids, his grandkids. I mean, that's an awesome experience to see someone have. And so that would be my most memorable play.
I went with a pick as well. I went with Ty Redmond.
That's where I go.
I think just because the season he's had, it's been tough for him. But we keep hearing from the coaching staff, hey, that guy's going to be really good one day. And so I'm hoping that this pick by him one-handed, it was nice, caught it right over the guy. He's in great phase. I'm hoping that holds true, that, man, next year, like one of our biggest question marks is now one of our most dependable defenders on the defense. So I'm hoping that play kind of springs them forward a little bit. Hey, I've kind of arrived in the SEC.
Agreed, because Lord knows at that position you have to flush all that and forget all that, but that is not easy. He's not one of these 5-star freshmen that was supposed to come in and play. He's a 3-star guy who you had 2 guys get hurt, so he's pushed into action. That's a position where you're getting picked on all year, and everybody sees it, and we all talk about it. So maybe that gives him a little confidence moving forward. I'm like you, I remember that. The other one was nice too. It's a great story. Both those are good stories. Daniel, what play do you remember?
Consider me Mr. Negative, because the one that I was just like, oh my God. And it's like, we threw an interception against.
Which one are you going with?
There's two of them.
I mean, the first one, because I was just like, I was sold the entire game. We're going to blow them out. This is going to be a high-scoring game. We're going to get starters out. We're going to get everybody else in. And then, like, first quarter, we throw the interception, and Ketzelman's right there, and I was just like, what are we doing?
Phil put him on Mount Rushmore?
You know, he was playing him. I think the Dunning-Kruger effect has happened, and I'm just waiting for him to come back up from it.
Yeah, that was
But that was the one to me, because I was just like, I was expecting everything amazing, and then I was like, oh, it's going to be one of these games. It's going to be one of these games.
Yeah.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
That second one, safety got him again.
Yeah.
It's a too high. I don't know how he's missing it.
Yep.
Or how you don't see it. They're in a white jersey now.
Yeah.
But the safety keeps getting him. And so I wonder if he's like peaked, and like now we're starting to see.
Well, I just think he is what he is. I mean, there were plenty of us that tried to say it's a lot of interceptions. No one wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
All you ever heard back was, yeah, but he was behind. Okay. Yeah. It's still 24 interceptions in 2 years. That's a lot of interceptions. You got to work to throw 24 picks in 2 seasons. And I had somebody, I need to say this, I had somebody email and say, Peyton Manning threw 12 in 1 year. I went back and looked at the numbers, how the game has changed in 30 years. When Manning was playing, the top 10 quarterbacks in the SEC threw an interception once every 25 passes.
Wow.
Today's top 10 in the SEC throw an interception once every 50 passes. So comparing Manning's 12 in 1996 to Aguilar's 10 right now.
Skewed a little bit.
Yeah, that ain't the same. So, yeah.
You can go ahead and say Aguilar's 12. We're going to get there.
I think we are going to get there. All right, question number 2. This is the question on New Mexico State. What did Tennessee accomplish? They spent a lot of money to bring that team in. Did they get their money's worth?
You know, you got one thing accomplished. You flushed Oklahoma somewhat out of your system, I guess.
Did you?
You had to come out and play another game, but no, they didn't. They did
feel
not
like they
accomplish.
should.
Disagree with you there. Yeah, that's
Like a carryover.
At least they went out and won the game. But no, you didn't accomplish anything that I personally wanted to see them accomplish. You didn't have a good running game.
no.
You had 2 interceptions. You didn't win the turnover battle. And then on top of that, you didn't get any young guys in. I mean, I get the point of wanting, you got the active streak for Joey going. You want to hit his 200 yards or whatever.
I'm sorry, who cares?
But, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm ready to see some George McIntyre or the Jake Merklinger. I want to see the younger guys, and especially in a game like that, 21-3 at halftime is an unacceptable score for that game. It just is. That should have been 42-0 at halftime. If we're looking back at bases at ETSU and like Kent States of the past, I mean, that's where they put that on par for.
They might have dug themselves a hole, although they didn't run it great either. But I wouldn't have come out there. He wouldn't have thrown enough to get to 200 if it were me.
Yeah.
I didn't see the need in that. And that's a stat. Before this year, when UT started talking about it, had you ever heard of that for any player anywhere? Well, he keeps going for 200 yards. No, nobody talks about that.
No.
I mean, good for him. That's great. But Tennessee doesn't need to be making decisions based off that silly stat that no one remembers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to get there, we'll start taking deep shots against a team that's obviously inferior to you. I mean, they never even tried to get creative, explosive, offensively. It was just a meh game, and you get a meh response.
They're saving it all for Florida.
Better hope they.
What was the question?
What did Tennessee accomplish?
You accomplish, you pay for the win. You got the win, you paid for it. Yeah. Would we like to see you look better, smoother, get the young guys in? Maybe myself, I want to see the younger receivers more. Definitely want to see McIntyre, but I think you paid for the win. You got the win.
Okay. Daniel, what did they accomplish?
I'm trying to think of anything positive at all.
Got a lot of young defenders in there because the starters were all set out.
Yeah, every single.
Lost Kisserman too. That just popped in.
And Wendell Moy.
Yeah.
And Peyton Lewis. And Deshaun Bishop took a shot to the ribs, although I think he came back in.
Yeah.
The only positive I can think of it is that I think there's going to be some letdown because you just lost your playoff bid, and you're probably going to have in one of those just egg games where you just.
And you had Florida.
You're just
on the horizon.
If they're motivated, they've got Florida to look ahead to. So it's a crap sandwich.
So I'm thinking that maybe this is just one of those games that he can say, "Hey guys, we had a bad week of practice. We saw a bad performance on the field. This is why we have to be better in practice." And maybe they can use that as their motivation to play better against Florida. That's the only thing I can think of positive coming down to that game.
I just came out of it thinking, okay, first of all, everyone and their brother thinks that Merklinger's probably going to transfer out. So why is he still the first guy off the bench? Second, could you not have taken Aguilar out earlier? I mean, that game was pretty well in hand. You had to get him his 204 yards passing. So at the expense of getting George McIntyre ready, let's assume that Merklinger goes elsewhere. McIntyre should be back next year competing with either Faison Brandon or Faison Brandon and someone from the portal.
Yeah. Right.
Do you not? I didn't think they prepared Ian Maliava in 2023
No,
enough.
they did not.
I thought they kept Milton in games long time. I don't know that they do a good job of prepping the next guy. Just a thought. And maybe Heupel's a former quarterback who thinks Merklinger's in practice. He's doing everything I asked. I'm going to give him his time. But I don't know that they're preparing. I don't think they prepared Ian Maliava enough in 23. And I certainly haven't seen much of George McIntyre this year. And when he did come in, handoff. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the fact is, too, your game reps are going to give you so much more information than your practice reps are ever going to give you. And so you're kind of doing them somewhat of a disservice by not getting your team either, A, motivated enough to go kick the crap out of a New Mexico State so you can get him into the game so he can run his offense, or you're just not putting him in early enough. I mean, there's at some point, luckily what they did do for Nico was they let him start that bowl game in 23, which was huge for him. But I think there was ample opportunities before that. You could have got him enrolled into it. Maybe 24 wouldn't have looked as sloppy as it did.
Yeah.
Well, from a recruiting standpoint, too, though. If I'm a receiver and I'm looking to transfer and I'm talking to Tennessee, I want to know who my quarterback's going to be.
Yeah.
I get a chance to watch this cat a couple series and say, okay, this cat can throw the ball. Or if I'm a young receiver and I'm debating on whether I'm going to get in the portal or not, or man, we got a little chemistry. We got some game action together.
Yeah.
Made a couple good plays. Like, I think that's important, too, with this NIL space.
Yep. Okay, question number 3 as we move out of the New Mexico State zone.
Thank you.
What will be the biggest X factor versus Florida? Biggest X factor versus Florida? I'll give you one just to seed the cloud here. Fast start. Fast start. They got to get back to scoring in bunches right in that first quarter.
Yep.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the Sunday show. We talked about it on the Saturday show last week.
Yeah.
Early in the season, they were averaging 20 points in the first quarter
Yeah.
for the first month of the season. Schedule got harder. Now you're averaging 10 points in the first quarter. It's like 52-38 is your only advantage in the last. And what we've seen from this offense over time is you build that big lead and then the other guy catches up. You better build a big lead at Florida. And the other thing it may do that I'll throw this to you.
Yeah.
You said it Sunday. That's a team that doesn't even have a bowl to play for. If you jump on them early, do they quit?
Might tap out.
Yeah.
Take the crowd out of it.
Yeah.
Possibly take the team out of to me, the X factor, does Tennessee leave the first quarter with 14 points? If not, I'm really worried.
I think they have to do that, and my X factor is you got to go with the pass catchers because they're the only way you're going to get the points early. But I think Davis is going to have his biggest game with the uncertainty with Ketzelman being out. Staley's going to get
If he's
hit.
out, yeah.
If he's out, yeah, we don't know. I guess we hadn't seen anything as of today.
And you can't trust anything they say anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's true too.
they're not
But
going to tell you the truth.
those guys, we're not going to be able to run the ball against Florida. We've got to be able to throw the ball over the field. So Davis has to have a big game.
It's a good one.
Yeah, Staley's got to step up. I think Brazel's going to probably get neutralized. And Mike Matthews, who knows what he's going to do?
Make a nice catch and then drop one.
Yeah, well,
He's Chris Brazel last year.
yeah,
And you hope that next year he
Next
turns
year.
into Chris Brazel this year.
yeah,
But that's a good one, Ethan Davis, is the X factor, because that's a guy we all believe
Yeah.
is a playmaker.
Mismatch.
Depends on how you use him.
Yeah.
Mismatch. Mine is offensive line. That's the X factor. They're going to get after Joey. They're going to test our young boy over here. They're going to they've got great athletes. They got great athletes up and down the roster. That's not a problem at Florida. Now it's just how motivated they are. And the reason why I say offensive line, you go out there and you get you a couple sacks right away, and now you get to slow this offense down. It's supposed to be really good. Now you build a momentum in Ben Griffin Hill Stadium. And now we're in some trouble. So I think the big games we've seen, Joey's been pressured a lot.
yeah.
Yes.
He's got to make faster decisions. We saw the safeties are getting them right now. So I'm going to say offensive line. I think if the offensive line shows up and play, we can keep them clean. I think we do get a fast start. But if we don't, now you're looking at it starts to roll downhill again at Florida, a place we haven't won since 2003.
You may be right because that's how they got Arch Manning. They hit him all game when Florida played.
They're going to always keep 4 down linemen that can rush.
Yeah.
So I would say offensive line.
Take that and flip it on the other side. I think a big X factor for this one is just defensively being able to put pressure on Lagway and that offense. Because, look, the teams that haven't been able to do that, Florida doesn't look terrible offensively. They can get things done if Lagway's on that day. So if you can get him off that day, then he could look really, really bad. And you can take advantage of that, especially the big play opportunities that their offense presents with turnovers.
Yeah.
It could be a field day for some DBs and some guys to create some havoc back there.
I was going to go defensive line, but then I was like, I don't know who we're going to have out there. Are we going to have both of our Leos out again?
Yeah, that's going to be a question.
Can Hobbs play all game?
That's we'll get to that later. I think another question.
This show is brought to you by Al Wilson's Hard Hitting Tea. Visit hardhittingtea.com today.
Let me ask you this one. It's a little off, but this could be an X factor. Tennessee's House of Horrors down there in the swamp. Let's say it starts the wrong way. How much? There's so many guys now who've been here a year. There's not like a shared memory on these teams anymore because people are just coming in going, how much do you think, though, that's going to go back into your head that, oh, crap, here we go again? Did you ever experience that?
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Okay, so you did.
No doubt.
Oh, hell, here it is.
No doubt.
Okay.
We had our senior year where defensively we were playing really good. We knocked the quarterback out. Offense is not moving the ball. And I even this is very specific to me, and I never forget this. I remember my mom looking up at me in the stands and was like, y'all got to go. And I'm like, I know. And it's just like ever since then, it's just like because you got the momentum
Yeah.
in a place we haven't won. And it's like, all right, on paper, we should be better than this Florida team.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's the same situation right now. On paper, as far as what you got to play for,
Yeah.
you should be more motivated. But what happens is you start one play go against you, another good play goes against you. Even though those guys have not been in the locker room, they hear from the fans it's important. They're on Twitter, they're on all the rest of that kind of good stuff.
Lost 10 in a row.
Exactly. And so it starts to creep in. All right, this is a place that's tough to play for us.
Yeah, that's another reason. Better fast start.
Yeah.
Start fast. Okay. Number 4, I'm confident. This is a carryover from our usual show. I'm confident in this player or position group. Right now, going into Florida, who are you confident in?
I'll tell you what, I'm very confident in David Hobbs. I feel like Hobbs has kind of hopefully gone over the injury stretch. Obviously he had that string of 3 solo tackles and then was tapping out for a break. So, but then plays into your D-line, normally rotates a lot. But that's a guy that we've missed. He had a really good game against New Mexico State. And one thing that I will point out is he's the only one out there sometimes that feels like he wants to hit something.
Right.
Too many times, more often than not, our defense just kind of gets bullied and bucked around like they're rag dolls. David Hobbs came in there and made some pretty leveling hits. And that's what this defense needs. They need someone that's just going to have total disregard and care for their body to go in there and just inflict physical harm on somebody. That's what you do as a defensive player.
That's it.
And I haven't seen that other than David Hobbs this season. I have not seen a consistency of that type of defense. And that's what I feel like a Tennessee defense really holds strong. There's countless of guys that I could bring up that were hard hitters for the Tennessee defense in the past. And
Daniel Hood, Marlon Walls.
yeah, 2 of them are sitting right next to me. But Hobbs, to me, I'm confident in his ability to at least go out there and try to hit somebody as hard as he can.
Are you confident in Daniel?
I was sitting there going through the entire roster, and I was like, "All right, Dan."
I
was like, "You got to find just one." And I was like,
legendary defense, elite quarterback.
I was like, "Just give me Max Gilbert kicking extra points."
Man, the Daniel alumna is down. He's come off the mountaintop.
It's just you got some data now that it's worrisome. I want to go wide receivers, but that's Staley. Maybe Staley. He seems to have he seems to be the most consistent.
That's where I would go.
Staley. Yeah.
If Aguilar gets the ball.
But someone's got to throw the ball to him.
And
we've thrown 4 or 5 interceptions in 2 games.
I'm confident in Staley. I'm trying to think of a position group that I'm completely confident in. I'm mainly confident in the receivers for the most part.
Yeah.
Matthews has some drops, but for the most part, he's not a nightmare.
When he's on, he's on.
Yeah,
when he's off, he's off.
Yeah, but Staley and Brazel are both pretty consistent. I think Staley's got big upside, so Lord knows they better be setting aside their NIL money. Or not NIL money, but their revenue share money, whatever you want to call it now. But I would say, I guess, receiver group, but you're right, there's 2 halves to that passing game. And that we'll get to the next question. I'll mention Aguilar. Who are you confident in?
This is going to shock you. I'm confident in our corners. Not the secondary, the corners. And here's the reason why I say that. Redmond had some bad games early on, and we haven't really seen him have really bad games lately. He's been pretty steady with where he is. He's going to get beat a couple times. Colton Hood's going to make a couple dumb plays and get a couple penalties or whatever. But those guys are not giving up chunk plays one-on-one like they were early on. I can't say the receivers because I'm looking at Brazel just had 65 yards versus New Mexico State. Staley, I wanted to say Bishop, but I know Bishop's a little nicked up. So I got to go with our 2 corners.
I've not been confident in their run game all year. It's not like the numbers are bad. It's just I'm comparing it to past UT run games.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem as good.
I will say I'm excited about the new linebacker, Jordan, how do you say his last name?
Pilati.
Yeah. Dude, that one hit he had against New Mexico State was amazing. He just he's athletic, he moves with some speed. I wanna see if he can do it against Florida. I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I'm excited as hell to watch that kid play.
All right, so we've got Staley and Pilati. You went with the
Ty Redmond
cornerbacks.
and Colton Hood, yeah.
You went with David Hobbs, and I went Staley as well. Okay, then let's flip it. I'm worried about this player or position group. this is the bad side about me saying the receivers. Aguilar right now. I'm concerned about 4 picks in the last 2 games, and I'm sorry, 2 of them against New Mexico State. If you want to tell me that it's Alabama, well, they got playmakers over there. I get it.
Right.
If you want to tell me it's against Oklahoma, I'm like, it's Venables. That guy's dialing it up. It's stuff you haven't seen. They're getting pressure on you. 2 against New Mexico State?
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting a little loosey-goosey with football. That's a concern because right now I think you've got the quarterback advantage going into this game.
Yeah.
Lagway was a 5-star. I've seen bad Florida quarterbacks have their best day against Tennessee.
Yeah, every time.
But to me, he's Joe Milton in terms of you look at him, it's like, he's got all the tools, that it doesn't really come together. Only he's much worse than Joe Milton. Guy's got 11 touchdowns and 13 picks on the year.
Yeah.
You can't afford – he's going to give you a couple, you would think.
Yeah.
You can't afford to give those 2 back.
No.
Aguilar, I'm worried about.
Not against us. Lagway's not going to throw a pick against us.
It reminds me of what was the guy? What was Richardson with the Colts? First round.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Looked like an all-star versus us here that year. I think we got him drafted.
Another guy I would compare to Joe Milton, who's like, coaches look at him, mouths water, what I can do with him, and then nobody can seem to actually
Couldn't
get
miss
anything out
versus
of him.
us. Could not miss. I'm going to say offensive line. Just again, I'm worried about Joey. I think he's seeing triple back there in the back end with those safeties. And now, if you look at the play versus New Mexico State, the one he hit the guy deep in, the guy picked it off, he got pressured off his left side.
Yes, it was center almost tackled him.
Yeah. Panic, threw the ball up high, guy picks it off. I'm telling you guys, Florida's going to always keep 4 guys that can rush the passer. They're going to be fast. And so I'm worried about offensive line. If we can't keep them clean, you might see some more of those ugly interceptions this game, and then now interceptions turn into points.
I'm going to piggyback off you. I'm also worried about the offensive line. Look, it's just where it's at right now. It has kind of broken down a little bit throughout the season, and typically that tends to happen as guys get banged up, but I haven't seen them recuperate yet.
Yeah.
And I talked about it a lot on Sunday. When you're 315-plus pounds, it is harder to recuperate from an injury or anything that's bugging you. Because, you're walking around with 300-plus pounds of weight everywhere. It's not like you actually get off your feet. So at this point, it's a long stretch of the season. A lot of the guys that are in there haven't had to play super long stretches of a season. Jesse Perry's still in his redshirt freshman year. You got David Sanders, who's just playing for the first time. You've got Sham Umarov, who's never had to play a full season. And then Pendleton wasn't a full starter at Notre Dame. Lance Hurd's the only one that's been fully seasoned before.
A lot of rumors about Pendleton's health at the moment, too, by the way.
But, it shows Lance has been able to hold it down all year. I have no worries about Lance Hurd over there at left tackle. But the other guys have started to show some cracks. And then
you didn't mention Wendell Moy.
Yeah,
we don't know what his injury situation is.
Yeah. But, you saw it. You pointed out that second interception. They had to pull Sam out, put Satterwhite in. You had a drop-off there. And you had a nose tackle beat your guy right off the rip, and you almost sacked your own quarterback. That is where issues can – and I'm telling you, Florida's D-line loves to take advantage of poor offensive line play.
I'm definitely on the offensive line train, but just to be a little different, I don't know who we're going to put at defensive line. I don't know if we're getting those guys back. I don't know if they're out. And if we don't have solid Leo play, I think is what they call it in this defense, Lagway's going to have all the time in the world back there, and that's going to be the worst thing for us.
That's something you can't
And
afford.
it also seems like when you have a quarterback with a little bit of mobility, it almost seems like our defensive line just goes more to bull rushes instead of running their games, running their little movements and stuff that they do because they're scared of them.
Yeah.
And so if we just try to bull rush freshmen against their offensive line to try to contain Lagway, it's just going to be picking us apart.
Okay, next one. I declare. This is a big statement that you believe will come true.
Since we've been negative Nancy's all show long, I declare we break the streak. We win in Gainesville.
Okay, now
in 2003.
Do you
since 2003.
So this is something you believe?
Yeah, I declare it. We get it done. Okay. We get it done. No, we go up early. Those cats quit. They roll over. We find a way. We carry Hypo out of the stadium. Carry him out of there. We win the football game. I declare.
I'll have a fun show Sunday morning if that happens. Hope
so. I declare that we will be enjoying a nice Florida trip for a bowl game this year. I think we will make it to one of the Florida bowl games. It'll be a good trip for everybody.
Got to get this one.
Yeah.
Got to get this one.
And the next one.
You could still get Jacksonville at 7-5. But okay, I think that's a safer bet than you think. I think you could still mess around and get Jacksonville. But anyway, Daniel, what do you declare? I give it to you first because I have no idea what I'm going to declare.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to manifest Marlins being true. And I'm going to declare Joey Aguilar throws for 350 yards, 4 TDs, no interceptions.
Takes it to the – he just ruined it. He just overshot the mark.
So he throws for 179 and 3 interceptions.
Hey, we're definitely not running the football. So for Marlon to win, Joey's got to have 350 on the road.
He's got to have a hell of a game.
Hey, he's got to. And he's got the receivers out there. We're going to have another 2 100-yard receiver games. It's happening.
I declare I would feel better about this game if it had been put at 4:15 on SEC Network instead of 7:30 on ABC.
Yeah. Yes.
Ooh, I just get the feeling it's going to be an embarrassing night where a 7-3 team plays a 3-17. Hope I'm wrong, but how many times? Well, 10 times in a row we've seen Tennessee go down there and lose to the. And we ran through it on the Sunday show. The list of coaches they've had against the list of coaches you've had. I mean, it's like 15 different guys have beaten 15 different guys. It doesn't matter who the coach is. You can't go down there and win. So I declare I wish this weren't on ABC at 7:30. One, it'd mean I could get in bed earlier. But also, I just don't like all eyes on Tennessee in this situation. That's just an added pressure. Not big on that. All right. Number 7. What will be Heupel's biggest challenge versus Florida?
I feel like one of his biggest challenges is going to be how is he going to get creative enough to attack this Florida defense? I feel like a lot of times, especially in the bigger games this season, we've gotten somewhat vanilla. You throw out one new play on a play against Alabama that you throw an interception at right before half. That's somewhat kind of new. You throw out 1 or 2 new plays here or there.
You had the Van Dorselaer play. Come on.
Yeah, against Oklahoma. He needs to get more creative with his playmakers and find ways, especially in the running game. I think the running game is a huge aspect that we've missed. It's not, like you said, it's not the same.
It's not very creative. No. Yeah, you've changed your offense to where's the outside run?
No. Yes. Yeah, get creative. Put in the one thing I wish that he would do is use the backs. You've heard Sims talk about it. These backs have different talent. They have different things. We'll use them for their talents. It seems like half the time you put Star Thomas in, you run all the wrong plays for Star Thomas. They
just run the same plays.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not the plays that work for him. They work for Bishop, but they don't work for Star.
Will Overstreet was talking about that Sunday before the show. That's an NFL thing. There aren't a lot of college coaches. It's just kind of, we've got our running back. All right, running RB2 goes in, and he does the same stuff. And it drives me nuts because I like
see it every week NFL.
Yes.
With
you got
James
a third
Worthy,
down guy.
and it's just they get creative to get this guy the ball. Saban said that one time, his coach told him, hey, you call plays for the players. You don't call plays just to call plays. There's one play where Star Thomas leaked out. We dumped it off to him, and it's just could you imagine that guy in a screen?
Yeah.
Especially against this defense you're about to face. They're going to be on the attack. One screen to him could go 70, 80 yards. You can.
Well, I mean, you'd run that exact same play that you used to run with Dylan Sampson all the time. The little pitch, draw.
In the middle? Yeah.
With Star Thomas.
Good play.
That's a good play.
That's a good point.
To go down that road, and I'm sorry, it's a Patriots thing. I apologize. That's the example. Last Thursday against the Jets, they were, 15-yard line, and they have Travion Henderson running back over here. He goes into the end zone on kind of a corner route. So he winds back there. He's by his lonesome. The reason is it's split back. So you got May here, Henderson here, but it's Stephon Diggs right here.
Yeah.
Not a running back, Stephon Diggs. So what they do is Diggs cuts across and runs the under. 3 DBs in the end zone.
Yeah.
Crash down on Diggs.
Yeah.
And Henderson just waltzes through. It was simply because we know you're noticing this guy, and we're going to use him to draw everybody over here and leave this guy open.
That's it.
That's what it means to be creative in your play calling. It doesn't have to be, oh, wow, it's a triple flea flicker.
Yeah.
No, just use your personnel creatively, and they don't do a ton of that. Again, it's their offense scores 45 a game, so we're not complaining about it. It's a good offense, great offense, but it's kind of we get the 45 points doing what we do.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mine is along the line of we got to be more creative.
Yeah.
You've got to offset the offensive line troubles you've been having. You got to offset the fact that your quarterbacks feel like he's been sped up the last, I don't know, since I guess Alabama.
Yeah.
Right? You got to do something differently to get these guys off the mark, let him settle down. Even if it's just like, again, I want to see the two backs in the backfield with Joey. Just to make the defense have to say, okay, what's going on right now?
Yes.
So I would say more creativity from Hypo that's going to be a huge key to the football game. And if we go in with the same stuff, you're playing a dangerous game there as far as like keeping pressure off Joey.
Daniel, what's Hypo's biggest challenge?
Yeah, I think his biggest challenge this week is just getting the team to focus, being able to go through and to have a good week of practice. We all know the Boo Carter situation. He's saying I was injured.
Well, hang on. We'll get to that.
Well, yeah, sorry. I won't go into Boo stuff. But you've also got the LSU rumors. You've got
a lot of distractions.
A lot of distractions, piss poor performance, and you're going to play Florida where you've not won in 10 years. Playoffs out of the way. Like, you got to find a way to get guys motivated to get down to Florida, to want to buy in and play. This is – all your Leos. This is Aaron Carter. Is he going to be able to play? Lord knows the cornerbacks and everything. It's going to be almost impossible to get this team to focus for 5 to 6 straight days to go execute at Florida.
That's where I was going to go. That's his biggest challenge to me is getting these guys motivated. And the reason being, we're now in a world where it's 12-team playoff, and we're kind of going to do a question on this too. But you're in this mode where you got a lot of fans who are like, season's over. It's over. You can get in the playoffs, it's bust.
Yeah.
It's playoffs or bust. Yeah. So you've got to get these guys interested. We need to see how many of these guys make business decisions at this point of the year. Yeah. I want to know, and we said it a week ago, congratulations to Colton Hood and Arian Carter. Was it Carter?
Yeah.
It's Carter. They both went out there and played hurt. And we wondered, okay, now that the playoffs are on the docket, would those same guys go out and play hurt now? Mm-hmm. We'll find out Saturday. Yeah. We'll see if Josephs, Ross, Carter are out there. And I'm not saying if they're not, it means they've quit. Mm-hmm. But they played hurt before. Will they play hurt now? And I realize injuries can change. But still, I think getting those guys up and ready. But that's also, well, I'll tell you what. Let's go to the next question. What will be Florida's biggest challenge versus UT? And I'll start by saying that will also be a big challenge for Florida.
Yes.
Because they don't even have a bowl game to play for. Mm-hmm. Their bowl game, they went out against Georgia and Jacksonville and gave them all they wanted. They went to Kentucky and they were banged up, but I swear it looked like they quit.
Yeah.
Then they go to Ole Miss, get down early, and give them all they want, which shocked me. Now you take the bowl game off the table. How much are those guys motivated to keep the streak against Tennessee going at the Swamp? I don't know in this day and age. Those guys are coming from all over. Does that motivate them? I think they've got bigger motivation issues than Tennessee does.
No doubt. But I would say this. I think that crowd's going to reward them by the way they played last week, them coming back home. I think the crowd's going to reward them, meaning the momentum's going to be there. It's still Florida versus Tennessee.
Yep.
Yeah.
To a lot of the people in the stands, that means a lot. The players, they know that rivalry. Mm-hmm. They know that Tennessee hasn't come in 1 in 10 years, and we just took Ole Miss to the ropes almost. So I think they're going to be motivated. I think the biggest thing is going to be back to like,
can you protect Joey?
Can you protect Joey?
I just figured that's where you were going.
How good is their defensive line?
Okay. Yeah.
How good is their defensive line? Because I know they're going to have athletic safeties. They're going to have athletic corners. They keep those. And so now you have a big play where you create an interception situation or you get to the quarterback, strip sack. Now that momentum is really jumping on you and the stands start to jump on you.
So their biggest challenge is getting to Joey?
I say get to Joey and keep the momentum.
What's the biggest challenge?
So the biggest
for Florida
for Florida would be to have Lagway get out of his own way. I mean, more often than not, he ends up losing the game for them from throwing another interception. I mean, that happened against Ole Miss. They lost the game because he kept throwing interceptions. However, if he gets out of his way and has a really good game, which he is capable of doing at times, it could be a long night. But it's that to me is the biggest challenge Florida's almost faced all season, is that guy getting out of his own way to make things happen.
What's the biggest challenge for Florida if you're going against Tennessee?
Yeah, I got to go with what he said. You know, that's going to be the nature of the game. Which quarterback throws the least amount of interceptions? But I said it yesterday on a Sunday show. I think that this is still one of those games that it's just so much pride for Florida. I almost feel like they're going to have more motivation to come out and play that game strong, even though there's not a bowl game or anything else.
Yeah.
Because it's still just like they had the mentality, this is Tennessee. We don't lose to Tennessee. I don't want to look myself in the mirror knowing that we lost to Tennessee. Because last year when we beat them here, they had, there were guys upset in the locker room and almost in fights because they thought they should have won it, and they just don't lose to Tennessee. I think they're going to be motivated, ready to play.
This show is brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Visit madmarine.com today, because there's no better place to buy a boat.
If you're Florida's coaching staff and you're looking at Tennessee and you're saying we have to stop X, it's Aguilar in the deep ball, isn't it?
Fast start.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fast start from Tennessee.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Next question. This will be question number 9, and we'll get to this that you mentioned. Is the Boo Carter situation? He's now off the team. There've been developments to where he's coming out and saying, "I don't know. I was hurt. They tried to make me play hurt, and they had press acts. Teipel, did he deserve to be? Should he have been on the availability list, the injury list?" And they said no. Okay, so you got this back and forth that he wasn't hurt. Yes, he was. He had been given first. He got in an altercation. A couple of guys' fists altercated with his face preseason. They let him come back, and he missed a practice. You still let him come back. Yeah. You had him quit at Kentucky on a couple of plays. Then you didn't let him play defense, and he goes out and fair catches a couple of line drive punts the next week. So then you say, all right, you're sitting this week, and he leaves or can't believe he's off the team or whatever. Is this whole thing a distraction and an issue to be concerned about if you're a Tennessee fan this week?
It is a little bit of a distraction, and it can be distracting to those players, especially if you still have players on that team that were tight with him that might know more of that inside scoop. That might feed cancer to the team.
How likely is it? I mean, everybody's got somebody, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got somebody on the team, and most of the guys, especially a guy like Boo Carter, probably had a group of guys on the team, and that's just case in point. That's normally what happens. But this is a situation for me where I wish at some point, I know they can't do it. I wish there was a little bit more transparency in from coach to just say, this is why we did those things. Yeah. I mean, you got a little bit of it when the Nico stuff went down. These situations, I know you can't come out and say certain things, but transparency in this one I think would clear up a lot of things, especially when you got, the mom doing the Facebook posts and all this stuff. It's just at some point, there is a straight story, but no one's ever going to know it.
Is it a concern, or is it the majority of teams like, this has been a pain in the ass all year.
Yeah.
Good riddance. What do you think? And we're not in the locker room. I'm asking you guys to judge this. You guys were on a team, I think, where somebody famously tripped over a helmet, as Butch Jones said. I think, were you on that team when we don't want to get into names anyway.
I can't remember.
Yeah, there was talk. I
think that was 2017.
A couple of guys got into a little something and he fell over a helmet.
Yeah,
anyway,
that always happens.
So tell me, is this more likely, in your opinion, a distraction and a problem, or is it? I think most of the team's going to be. You're getting rid of a distraction.
It's a distraction because those guys are being asked about it right now, or Hyper's having to go speak about it right now. Anything to take your mindset off Florida and going down and breaking the streak and making sure you get to. He's already got a hard enough job anyways right now, keeping those guys focused. Like when I was playing, like when a guy got an agent, like the whole team was shocked. Like, whoa, it was almost like you committed a sin almost. Like the coach would bring us in and talk to us about it. Guy had an agent. Like those guys have agents now.
Yeah.
So that conversation is starting already. And if you think like in this world of college football where we are right now, guys are not already starting to poke and prod. Like that's happening right now where you're having those conversations. So now you're also having to talk about a Boo Carter situation. And the reason I think it was a distraction is because you probably had a lot of those guys in the locker room that was like, what is he still doing on the team? A long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now he gets kicked off or whatever. You know, you're probably side-eyeing the coach kind of like, man, we told you this wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So it's a distraction because you have to talk about it. And then also you have guys in that locker room that knew he should have been gone a long time ago. And you probably feel a certain way because Heupel said, no, we're going to try to save this kid, which is what he's supposed to do. But now it's a distraction because we got to talk about this, and then ultimately we were right and you were wrong about that.
You've also got I have no idea what the percentages are, but some percentage of Heupel was trying to save the kid.
Yeah.
Some percentage of Heupel was thinking about, well, he makes this much money that we've already paid him. Some percentage of that deal had to have been, is this going to be lawsuits back and forth battling over money? And are all our I's dotted and T's crossed?
Yeah.
Where he can't say, well, you didn't give me the opportunity, blah, blah, blah. He has to make, it's like if you work in corporate world, HR, well, you are HR. You can't just fire anybody anymore.
No,
you got to have documentation where you screwed up on April 13th.
This, and this.
Yes, you did this, this, and this. Kind of like that with if you've got a contract now with the school and they're paying you, there's now back and forth as to who keeps the cash and how much cash if you don't come through. So that all played a role in it. But boy, in hindsight, should have probably let him go when his teammates started kicking his ass. That might have been the sign. Is this a distraction that you're worried that fans should worry about? Is it that big of a deal?
Yeah. I think it is because I mean, also every single player on that team has friends and families and everyone else that's messaging them, hey, what's happening with Boo? What's happening with Boo?
Oh, yeah.
You got a lot of outside eyes. It's just
Not
drama.
just the media, it's
and
everybody.
so now as you get out of practice, you're checking your phone, and it's like, here I am answering stuff about this bullshit again. But, the games, Jimmy's and Joe's, I think they did the right thing trying to save the kid. But at some point, the kid's too far gone, and he made the move. But hopefully they had a better leadership council than like what we had under Derek Dooley, where we would tell our coach one thing and he'd be like, no, we got to do this.
Oh,
like,
you remember that?
Yeah. Like, I mean, we won't.
What's the point of a leadership council if you're not going to listen to it?
You know, like, and just one example. We, in one of the Dooley years, we
No
set,
names.
Don't say the name. I was about to say, don't say the name.
But we set a senior, made him miss a game over this BS point system, that there was a freshman that had more negative points than any of the seniors. And it's like, but we need that guy to catch footballs. And so I don't know how Heupel's managed the leadership council, but if there's one of those, that's the quickest way to lose the team.
And that's the reason why I said, like, it depends on what Heupel's response was the first time the team went to him about Boo Carter. If it was anything like our situation, he was like, hey, he told one of the guys flat out, hard-working guy, walk-on guy, but, like, he was a hard-working guy. The team respected him. Told him flat out, hey, I get rid of you before I get rid of him. Don't say that in this meeting. Yeah. So, like, it depends on how you handled that situation.
Yeah.
Because if it went like ours, where now you end up having to kick the kid off because of the same stuff we was talking about anyways, it's like I lose respect for you as a head coach.
Daniel, we were talking before, so this spins back around to your conversation. So I'm going to go the opposite way.
Yeah.
And you can spin back and debate me. One thing I'll say, we're not privy to what Heupel is saying to the team about this. You've been over there.
Yeah.
My guess is we've not heard a ton, in my opinion, of culture issues. I've not seen teams quit on this guy. Doesn't mean there aren't some, and that's leading to Daniel. But is he pretty good at does the team usually feel like Heupel is honest with them? Does he have a good rapport with them?
Yeah.
I think being a former quarterback, you probably got that, but I'm just guessing. So you tell me.
Coach Heupel, look, he's a very good players coach. He has that transparency I'm talking about. He has 100% transparency with his players. Everything that he does, he informs us on the level that we need to know, and especially that leadership council, he listens to that leadership council on a very high level and respects what they have to say. Now, sometimes he'll come back a little bit more respectful to a response if he doesn't always like what we have to say.
You can always lean on a leadership council.
But one thing interesting too from some of the points that you guys said, that's something that it will create is you'll now have players on that team like, dude, if I was doing this, I would have been kicked off a long time ago. Yeah. And so now you got guys question, what's my value? I mean, what do I value now to all these people?
Well, and that's kind of what I was talking to him about before the show. Is it's every single year, like since 2022, you've had one cultural hiccup. The 2022 season, we had the fights right before South Carolina. We had the 23 season. We basically had to change out the entire cornerback room. 24 season, Squirrel White, all those kids, we had to completely change it out. 25 season, now we got Nico. Now we got the Boo Carter situation. I think Heupel is a young coach, and it'll get better. And it seems like when he finds these issues, he fixes it. Yeah. But there's been one thing that's come up every single year that's cost Tennessee at least a football game.
Well, I don't know that I agree with that one. I don't know. I see what you're getting at. Having a bunch of fights before the South Carolina game in the locker room, that's probably not great going into that game. But I don't know that you had to change out the receiver room last year. There's a lot of guys that I want to play. So I'm going to go to UCF and make more money at UCF than here. So I don't know. You may be right. You may have heard from people other than I have that we got to clean that room out. But I don't know that it's cost you a game.
I'm just 10,000 foot view, like looking in, like you know, like, and I may be wrong.
I also think you get some of that on. You're not. Every program has some knucklehead on.
But I look at like a position like the defensive line, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. But it seems like they recruit guys. They seem to stay longer. You know, outside of like I think we had Tyler Barron leave at one point. Yeah. But like
went to 4 different schools in an offseason.
But it seems like okay, that was our cancer. We're going to push him out. But it seems like at least in the defensive line, they've kept a good majority of their recruits. They've got better. They got drafted, and it just some of these position groups we've had issues with, and it's like we've had to turn them over.
I think part of that though may be
how much they play.
Well, that, but also there are certain positions that everybody goes and chases in the portal. Yeah. Receivers and corners are two of those positions, and offensive linemen.
Yes.
But that doesn't. What's your thought? You've been over there. Address that. He's calling you. You were on a couple of those teams. Were there cultural issues more so than you thought at other places?
No. I wouldn't say so. I mean, look, I was there with Jeremy Pruitt. We had a lot of cultural issues with Jeremy Pruitt. And so part of that was in 21, he had to come up and clean up a lot of crap.
Yeah, he did.
And I think as the years go on, you know, that 22 season, you still had a lot of Jeremy Pruitt guys. After last year was the first year that you had all those guys kind of vacate, and now you've got actual Heupel guys. And I think, too, the cultural issues, I wouldn't say is more stem from a cultural issue standpoint now. It's more of the money issue. Especially, that's what I chalked the Nico situation up to, is that was the money issue. And so I think that's just part of it. What I would view for cultural, we don't have guys getting arrested. We don't have guys getting posted on KPD every single week. And those are the things that I think are the positive things to look at.
Well, I think you had Nico up and leave, and you had Boo Carter's been a pain this year.
Yeah.
So that's 2. Mm-hmm. So that's 2 right there. One was just had a dad who just is a nitwit and wants all kinds of cash.
And one had a mom.
There you go. Damn parents. All right. Next question. But that's good. That's good to bring that up. Yeah. Number 10, if you were banged up, no playoff bid, what would your motivation level be this week?
I'm stubborn as hell. I'm playing.
Hey, what?
I said I'm stubborn as hell.
To me, it's a pride thing. I've always had pride. Okay. I was raised, my parents told me, if you're going to start something, you got to finish it. And so I finish everything to the fullest. And to me, if I was at a different school that wasn't Tennessee, maybe I feel that way, and I'm biased to this just because I love the University of Tennessee, and so I always wanted to play as hard as I could for the University of Tennessee, no matter what stakes we're at. And I know that
now, how much is a kid who's played? Well, I started my career, I'm not to pick on Star Thomas, but I started at New Mexico State, then I went to Duke, now I'm at Tennessee. Oh, I'm playing for my love of the school. Which school am I at again?
Yeah. I mean, so it does make a difference for sure with the way the era of everything is now. So I can't say for certain how those guys would feel.
But you would.
But I know me personally, I would be right there in it. So.
See these guys They blowing smoke right now.
Pollyanna?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're blowing smoke right now. We had guys even back then without NIL. If I was a Star Thomas and I wasn't getting enough snaps or I felt like I could be doing better, take the money out of it, I'm already in my brain starting to say, I need to go somewhere else. Or I'm peed off at the fact that, like, I showed you what I can do and I only got X amount of snaps last game.
Yeah.
So now I'm starting to feel a certain way. I'm not as motivated to go to practice. I'm not as motivated. Like, we had that going on, and that was before NIL. So, like, and these guys now, they're getting paid. Yeah. And again, we're talking about agents and parents handling that kind of stuff. Whenever you're talking about money coming in, it's a little different now the way guys move. And so, like, if a guy's banged up and I feel like either A, I got potential to go in a draft and go play good, all I got to do is make it through these last 2 games, or B, I'm a guy that ain't getting a whole lot of snaps and I already got transfer portal on my mind, I'm not as motivated to go play banged up, especially when I'm talking to somebody that's a professional saying, hey, man, we can go get this over here.
Yeah.
So it's a hard – like what he's doing right now is a hard job for those 2 reasons.
Well, there's also a C to that now, which is I could just go you don't have to go to the pros to make more money. You can sit there and say, I don't want to get hurt because I hope to make more money at USC next year, or we're going to be putting ourselves out to the highest bidder. Yeah. So, Coach, my hamstring's really bugging me. Coach doesn't know. No, it's too tight. I can't go. I just wonder about that. You guys famously played on a team that there have been people on that team who have said, hell, I think I've gotten you guys to say it before. You played with a couple of teammates who were happy to lose so they didn't have to go to a bowl game. Didn't want to go to a crappy bowl game.
Yeah.
That was 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's without the money.
Without the money.
We had that happen in 2018.
I mean,
we didn't want to go to a bowl game. That team was unmotivated. I was a redshirt that
Is
year.
that the year
we lost to Vanderbilt to go to the bowl.
Before the winter? No, okay. 2019 was when he had the 8-5
when you lost to Georgia State,
and wound up winning at Indiana against Indiana Bowl. That's right.
Yeah,
that's just that's just a mentality that I like. Even when I played, I didn't understand. Like when we lost that Kentucky game, we had Bray, and we had all the people that said that. I was so sheltered from that I was like, no way, because it's just like, and I think it was my 2011 season. Like, I get paid to play my 12 games a year. I don't care if it's
with education, you mean?
Yeah, or whatever it was. But like I tore my labrum.
Or with the Chick-fil-A bags.
Yeah, I never famously got any money. I wasn't that good of a player. I didn't get a trophy. I didn't get anything like that. You know, I got
$100 handshake did happen.
It never happened to me. I got SpaghettiOs from our I shit you not. We had they would cater food in for us, and she would bring me a plate of SpaghettiOs. But it's like it's just a mentality I didn't understand, and like I played. Like I don't care if I'm hurt. I don't care if I had a concussion. I'm going to find a way to play. And, like, even those guys, like, I was on that team, and, like, I found out about those things after the fact, and I'm like, who would have that thought? Like, it's just, I play like a fire
guys
cat.
that felt like they were going to the draft.
Yeah.
Stock was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Why go put out more tape in the Music City Bowl? Those guys were.
This is my question. If you hear that, I'm surprised. If people are saying that before that game.
Well, I didn't hear it until after the game.
Because that's one of those things, you're talking about player on player, somebody getting their ass kicked. That would seem to be the kind of thing, if you had enough people, if it was a small group saying that, it seems like the big group would just have none of it.
Yeah, I had no clue about that until after that game.
I remember very vividly in 2018, one of our captain DBs, he screamed at us before the Vanderbilt game, like that week of practice, screamed because we weren't practicing good. He brought the whole team together and just started berating us about how we're going to be broke in December because we won't have any of the bowl trip, any of that, and that how everybody's going to be disappointed when it doesn't end up the way we want it to. So, I mean, he
tried to do his role.
Yes.
Who was that?
Nigel Warrior.
Love that kid.
But like, there was one season that I was acceptable with just throwing in the towel, and that's the COVID season. The COVID season sucked. We shouldn't have played that season anyway. And that was the only one that I could say, all right.
That's different, though.
That's different. That's
different. A weird situation.
My thought is, if you're a head coach, you got to find those guys and root them off your team. You're not going to win a championship having guys like that on your team.
The trick is if some of those are your best players.
Yeah, ours were starting quarterback, starting receiver, starting running back.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that have a lot of impact.
You also
But we had culture issues on our team. We didn't have a great
Well,
culture.
Dooley also, I don't know if it was one of you guys told me this, but also that Music
probably
City. Yeah, I think it was some Music City Bowl year. Jansen Jackson. It's like they had some walk-ons who barely. They were there all year, but they were late for something, so he took away their bowl money. And Jansen Jackson had like 4,000 things he'd done wrong, but he got his bowl money. And he got to play in the bowl game, and the other guys got a kick in the ass. That might have been what you were referring to earlier, but I've heard a story that goes in that it was like Jansen Jackson, didn't matter what he did, and in the end, that didn't help Dooley any, and it sure didn't help Jansen Jackson.
No. But it's just like my favorite quote that I saw this entire week. I don't know if y'all saw the Kirby Mart little post-game press conference after playing Texas. He's like, and to sum it up, I don't remember everything word for word, but he's like, we play physical football.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just come here and get a check. We come here, we're physical, and you get a check. And they just had that dominating win over Texas. Like, that's the mentality that your team has to have. That
you're trying to build, yeah.
That's we're grind it out. We're going to fight you every single freaking play.
But is that the same mentality if Kirby Smart's got his third loss already, and those guys know they're not going to a playoff?
I feel like with that team, yes. I think it starts with your head coach.
We'll see.
Because I mean, that's why they don't lose games, is because they have that mentality.
Well, they also have best talent.
By tap.
SEC.
By tap.
All right, question number 11. Night game, lows in the 50s. Does that make the swamp less scary?
Actually, it does.
Yeah. It's Florida.
Hey,
Yeah, 'cause
I mean,
part of
we're
the-
all used to going down there in September when it's hot, humid, and muggy, and it's not fun to be outside in Florida. So that'll be that's actually really great weather to play football in. So I
You're
would be
more used to
excited.
that than they are.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So the only thing I don't like the night game aspect. I wish it wasn't a night game. I personally never really enjoyed night games as much as other people do. I guess I was always that 3:30 slot to me is always the best time.
Yeah.
Or for this one, I would have liked
man,
it a lot
Ollie.
better.
I love the 12 o'clock. Wake up and play football. That's all I wanted to do.
I like to wake up a little bit, have my coffee in the morning, get some eggs.
Maybe pregame meal at 7. Let's go.
Well, does this make the swamp less scary that you're not having to deal with the heat and humidity this year?
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Like, my memory of the swamp is, and I always go back to my freshman year, a lot of those older guys are telling us, man, it's going to be hot, it's going to be hot. And as a guy that's about to play, it's like, we'll be all right. You know, we just got through a hot camp. We're good to go. But, man, I remember going out for warm-ups, and I mean feeling like you couldn't breathe. With the crowd on top. It's like they were like used to it. So it didn't bother them at all. And I remember us coming in like drenched in sweat before the game. And I was like, man, we ain't gonna be able to make this game. Yeah, so like it being at 50 degrees, like that helps us more than it hurt. Does it help them? So they may not be used to that. So I would say, yeah, it definitely makes it less scary.
Okay. Daniel, you agree?
To me, the 7:30 spot trumps everything. Because I've been a fan.
And a fear factor?
Yeah. Like, I've been a fan, and like 2 years ago when we went down there with Milton and everybody, I actually was a fan and got to sit in the stadium and watch the game from the stadium for the first time. Dude, it's an impressive stadium. It's a cult. They've got their songs that they sing and everything else. And it's just that night game, you get everybody a little more liquored up. You get them in there.
That's a good point.
And, I mean, it's just I mean, and we started out that game great. They drove down the field first drive, had a touchdown, ended up putting up, I think, 16 points up the entire game.
Yeah, so the temperature may
was a
be
fun
better,
start.
but it may be more rowdy because it's a night game.
Yeah. And it was just like we couldn't do anything right in that damn game.
You can't fake that the weather shit. I mean,
No.
the thing is, I remember last year when Tennessee went up there to Ohio State, the lineman came out shirtless, and only later did I learn that they ran across the field and then put the jerseys back on.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that? That makes it look like, oh God, it's cold. Give me my shirt.
Yeah.
So you can't fake it. And I've seen a million NFL films where you got guys coming into Foxborough on a blizzard, and they're all sitting there going, this is nothing, and then they cut in fourth quarter, and it's like, I've never been this cold in my life. I've never been this. So you can't fake it. So at least you're not having to deal with the heat and the humidity this time.
Yeah.
Because that is hard to prepare for, I'm sure. All right, last one, question 12. What's the more important game? You can snap a 10-game losing streak at Gainesville. You can win back-to-back versus Florida. You can win. This would be 3 out of 4 versus Florida. But then the next week you got Vanderbilt coming in here. What's more important? If you're Josh Heupel and you want the fans to be behind you, if you want a nice, calm off season, what's the more important game?
I'm going to go ahead and take this one. Let's make it 11 years in the swamp of them winning the football game. You cannot lose to Vanderbilt and they get a playoff berth. Mm-hmm. They get a playoff berth here in Knoxville and beat you. And Pavia gets Pavia, the guy that talks, that's on Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco's show almost every week, talking about what he's about to do after the game and all that. You can't. I'd rather lose 11 straight in Gainesville
than lose to Vandy at home.
I'll tell you guys this story real quick. So, like, I redshirt senior year, we're done. We lose to Vanderbilt in a tight football game. I think it came down to, like, the last series. Mm-hmm. We had a guy did something crazy, did something stupid, so they got a penalty flag. They moved him all the way up. We would have had the game over with. Man, I cried like a baby after that game. And it wasn't because it was it's my last game in Neyland, but it also was, we just gave Vanderbilt an opportunity to, like, walk out here in our stadium that did all that talking before the season, before the game, and we let those cats beat us. Yeah. I couldn't imagine them beating us and going to a playoff berth. No, I'd take the 11 years straight in Gainesville than to lose to Vanderbilt at home and go to the playoffs.
And if Vanderbilt wins this game, there's 1,000% chance Diego Pavia runs out there with a big V flag and sticks in his 50.
Yeah,
that guy is he's 100% schmuck.
And he's done a hell of a job.
Yeah. Oh, he's a great quarterback, but I just can't stand this stuff.
Yeah.
But he's exactly the kind of guy that would do something stupid at midfield after
no
the game.
Doubt.
Daniel, what's the more important game, snapping the streak at Florida or protecting your home turf against Vanderbilt? A really good Vanderbilt team.
Yeah, I was 50-50 with it, but Marlon sold me. He should go into sales. You can't let Vandy come out of that game. You can't have your third loss in Neyland Stadium. You can't lose your state championship. And especially you gotta be able to take it back that we are Tennessee. And it's the same thing Florida's telling their team right now. Their pride is we don't lose to Tennessee. Tennessee's has got to be we don't lose to Vandy. And
it's more likely as we don't lose to Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, Vandy's beating you more than you beat Kentucky. There was a stretch, I told you guys before this, from 2012 to 2018, the team you were on, Vanderbilt beat Tennessee 5 out of 7 years. Mm-hmm. Tennessee hasn't won at the Swamp since 2003. That was the last time. In that span, Vanderbilt has won 3 times in Knoxville.
Wow.
So I'm with Marlon and you. To me, if Josh Heupel and Tennessee wins this game and then loses to Vanderbilt, the Florida game will be celebrated up until the Vanderbilt game, and then it will be completely forgotten, useless. Whereas you lose to Florida this week, people will be mad, but they know hell none of our coaches win down there.
Yeah.
But if you beat Vandy and knock them out of a playoff berth, that will put people in a good mood at the end of the year. That'll be the first team all year you've beaten with a winning record.
That's a big one.
So I think it's Vanderbilt. Do you agree with us or debate or disagree with us?
At first, I was going to go the Florida game. I thought if you win the Florida game, it helps flip the script of the season. You broke the streak. You got stuff accomplished, even in a season where people were going to say you didn't get anything accomplished. But after hearing you guys talk and thinking about it, stewing on it a little bit more, I thought you go and you lose to Florida. Okay, like you said, we lose in the Swamp. That's just what it is. I guess we'll try again next time. You lose to Vanderbilt, you let them go to the playoffs, and God forbid if they have a playoff run, that it would just every game that they'd be playing in the playoffs is just sticking the knife deeper into your side. You can't lose to Vanderbilt, and especially at a year like this, you can rob something from them. They love taking stuff from us year in and year out.
You get to play spoiler against Vanderbilt.
Yes, which is an odd world that we live in right now.
Flip the script.
But you do that, you'll have a lot more talking about you in the offseason than if you beat Florida and lose to Vanderbilt.
Man, that just pissed me off just sitting there even thinking about it. That Vanderbilt got a chance to come. And Pavia sitting there waving a freaking flag running up and down the field like that. And your fans, our fans who's like sold that stadium out so many times.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like we go play at Vandy and you see more orange, and now to see that flip to where like these cats over there celebrating our guys in the stands, mouth wide, like, no, you can't do that. And this guy's going to the playoff.
I remember 2005. Bob Hodge and I went to the Tennessee Vandy game here. That's the first one that Vandy beat Tennessee since like 1984 or something. Yeah. Jay Cutler, I think, was the quarterback. So Hodge and I happened to be seated about 10 rows behind former Vol captain Mike Stoll, who you guys all know from the show. Mike is down there, and he keeps looking back at Bob and I and giving us, I can't do the look, but he turns back. And he's like looking at us like, what, can you believe this? And Bob and I would be like, oh, it's unbelievable. As soon as Mike would turn, we would just howl of laughter at the pain our friend was in, just because we're such jerks. But I remember his look of astonishment that Vanderbilt was coming into Knoxville. And now they've done it 2 more times since. So to me, there's only one answer to all this. That's win both games. Don't lose either one. Don't lose either one. Daniel Hood, Marlon Walls, Ollie Lane, thanks to all of you guys. I always enjoy this show. It's a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the thumbs up, please. Or as they say, smash the like button. And you can also subscribe for us. Leave us a comment. Tell us your answers. Give us some more questions. We mixed it up this week because who the hell cares about New Mexico State? Hopefully you don't mind that this was more of first word than final word. We'll see you next week when we're breaking down the Florida game. See you then on the Sports Source Digital Network.